Here are your other Wednesday morning headlines. Senate hearings continue for President-elect Donald Trump's cabinet picks. First this morning, Pam Bondi tapped to lead the Justice Department. Trump picked her after his first choice, Matt Gaetz, withdrew following a federal investigation.
At 10:30 this morning, Austin leaders will speak on changes to 6th Street. They're looking at opening the road up to vehicle traffic on weekends. It's a pilot program. It's already has it open on Thursdays and Sundays. Austin Police Chief Lisa Davis says that so far it's going well.
If you need to build an emergency kit, you can get some help today. Austin's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Management hosting its emergency preparedness pop-up this afternoon. It's at the John Gillum North Village Library, and that is from 3 to 6. Live look outside this morning. Couple spots of rain out there. You may see that on your early morning commute, but not quite as cold as we saw yesterday. Thanks for joining us this morning. I'm Tom Miller.
And I'm Erica Brennis. Kristen Curry joining us now. So do we need a plan for rain throughout the day or just the morning, or what are we thinking?
Just the morning.
Okay.
And I wouldn't even say the puffer is needed today. Maybe just your regular jacket.
I wore mine and immediately did not need
yeah.
it. So.
It's not quite as cold, but it is still a bit chilly. Let me show you these numbers after I go into the rain, because unfortunately it's not widespread and we didn't expect it to be, but there is a few spots. There are a few spots out there when it comes to light rain, and I hesitate to even show you this because it's literally maybe 1 or 2 raindrops on the windshield. Nothing that's accumulating. I've been looking at some of our rain gauges along and east of I-35, and we've got goose eggs across the board here. So, you know, we'll take what we can get. Moisture is still a good thing, keeps our wildfire danger down, but we're just not seeing a whole lot being squeezed out of those clouds just yet. Hey, your temperatures are largely in the 40s this morning. There's just a few up in the northwest in the 30s. Look at the difference. I mean, 15 to 25 degrees warmer. That's definitely something you'll notice. But again, it's 40s as we start, so you certainly do want to make sure you've got at least a light coat, even if you won't need it all day. Highs getting into the upper 50s, and that rain chance is only going to be for the morning hours. It's mainly sprinkles and drizzle, but we'll keep that at 20% for about lunchtime, and then it'll disappear. A couple more spots of rain to look forward to again on Friday, and then as we transition into next week. Problem is, some of this might not be just liquid rain early next week. I've got a big update on the potential for some wintry mix here in Central Texas next week, along with that bitter cold we expect. Those details here shortly, but also want to give an update on what's going on out west. Southern California bracing for yet another day of critical fire danger. A nearby storm system is going to bring wind gusts of up to 50 miles per hour in valley locations and up to 70-mile-per-hour winds in the mountains, obviously making for a tough fight for the more than 20,000 firefighters trying to get several wildfires under control. At least 25 people are dead and over 35 people are still missing. The mayor of Los Angeles gave this perspective on the danger people face.
Firefighters who've been on the job for 25, 30 years, to say to me that in their entire careers, they have never seen destruction like this. They have never seen wind so fierce.
There are currently 4 wildfires burning in the LA metro. The largest, the Palisades fire, which is now 18% contained. The Eaton fire is 35% contained. The Auto fire at 47%, and the Hearst fire now at 97% contained.
All right, thanks, Kristen. President Joe Biden plans to deliver a farewell address to the nation this evening. He'll speak from the Oval Office, which is typically reserved for major occasions and for big news. Biden's remarks comes less than a week before President-elect Donald Trump is inaugurated. Biden is expected to talk about his time in various political offices and will also include a message to America about the country's future. Tonight, join NBC News for coverage of President Biden's farewell address to the nation starting at 7 this evening right here on KXAN. And now let's take a live look this morning at the U.S. Capitol. Security plans are underway ahead of Trump's inauguration on Monday. Crews are very busy installing fences. More than 250,000 people have bought tickets for the event. 25,000 police officers and military members will be on hand, including 4,000 officers from other parts of the country.
Washington, D.C.'s police chief says with several other events happening on Inauguration Day and the days leading up to it, law enforcement will work to ensure everything remains peaceful.
We want people to come to the District of Columbia to enjoy our city, but those who break the law will be arrested and will be held accountable for their actions.
Among the tech leaders expected to be in attendance there, tech leaders Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, and Jeff Bezos.
An update for you this morning. Eanes ISD School Board officially voted to close Valley View Elementary School starting next year. A release from the district cited declining enrollment at the campus. It called this part of a bigger effort to deal with a currently projected $3 million plus budget deficit that's only expected to increase next year. But the district expects to save $2 million alone just from closing this campus through attrition. Welcome back. 5 juveniles and 2 adults are in custody after police say they went on a crime spree. Police say on Sunday and on Monday, the group was involved in auto thefts, carjackings, and business burglaries. Austin police arrested the 7 people yesterday. They say that the investigation is ongoing and additional charges are expected.
In a separate case, a 13-year-old boy is charged with engaging in organized criminal activity. Lockhart police say he played a role in more than a dozen vehicle burglaries. These happened in the Summerside subdivision off US 183. Officers arrested him in Austin, and police added they received a lot of surveillance video that helped build this case.
Now, still ahead on today, continued coverage of the wildfires out west.
Yeah, California home to a lot of celebrities, and some of them are stepping up to help out. NBC's Jacob Soboroff talks with Jennifer Garner about the fires and how she is helping families recover.
What's it like for you to do this in your own backyard?
I mean, I'm just heartbroken for my city. But there's part of me that feels like I have seen this happen all over the country, and I have seen the good that shows up, and I have seen the resilience that shows up.
See more of the work and the resilience coming up on Today.
And the devastation from the wildfires is obviously unimaginable for some. Homes and neighborhoods completely in ashes. And a North Texas musician says she is among those who lost her home but is thankful to just be alive. She shared her story with Alicia Barrera.
Up on the hill in Altadena, California, sat Emily Elbert and her partner Seema's home, where music, food, and friends were at the center of it all.
Where people could come when they needed a place to stay, where friends taught classes and workshops, and we had dinner parties.
Their Spanish-style staircase, colorful door, and the walls that housed so much joy for them and their roommates,
Oh my God, the bike.
now shattered, charred, and unrecognizable.
So I saw it. I saw the plumes of smoke.
Elbert, a Coppell native and musician based in Altadena, had just landed at the airport last Tuesday.
I was one of the last flights to land at Burbank Airport before they started redirecting.
She was able to make it back home to pack their most prized belongings, including a few of her guitars, and without realizing it, playing music in her home one last time.
I decided to practice banjo by candlelight for 10 minutes before leaving the house to get somewhere that had power. You know, it's the grief and the gratitude. It was really an incredible chapter.
Elbert, a successful musician, is part of Fort Worth native Leon Bridges' band and recently performed alongside Beyonce in the Christmas Day halftime show.
It's nothing expensive that matters most. It's just like things that my grandmother gave me and like things that my mom made and 20 years worth of journals and all that.
Donations have poured in online, and today she's packed her bags again as she heads out to tour in Australia, knowing that when she comes back, a mound of stress and unknown awaits to rebuild their home and community.
Seema and I did have insurance. You know, there's so many complexities. It's like suddenly we have this new full-time job that's really triggering, like trauma triggering and all this stuff.
Man.
Oof. It's so tough to see. And I think, you know, one thing that in seeing all this rubble, right, is that it puts into perspective when, you know, the fire department has 1 or 2 or 3 homes that they're able to douse with water.
Right.
And then you have hundreds of homes.
Thousands.
They can't even begin to tackle and how there is just nothing left of these homes.
Yeah, and you think about those who didn't have insurance, who were dropped from their insurance because of the risk.
It's a huge problem.
You know, it reminds me of, you know, after hurricanes, sometimes people don't even go back. They're like, there's nothing there. All of it is ruined. In this case, none of it is left untouched by flames.
Yeah.
Why would I go back and rebuild? There's no point.
Exactly.
And that like breaks your heart for those in Altadena and you know, Pacific Palisades, knowing that it's never going to look the same. Let me show you what's going on with the weather here at home, because unfortunately, yes, we do have another day of high fire danger, critical fire danger at that, out in California. And we're going to be talking more about that a little bit later on in the newscast. But we have to focus on what's to come here at home, because things are going to get real interesting heading into the weekend. This morning, almost a tease, if you will. There's some light rain out there, but it's really not expected to be much. I was just looking at some of the rain gauges. The only one I saw with measurable rain was Elroy, and it was 100th of an inch. So it's looking more impressive on radar than it is in person. But this was that 20% that I was telling you about yesterday. We went to bed with that, and we're waking up with it this morning. It's just not doing a whole lot for us in the way of getting those raindrops from the clouds to the ground. Allied Medical Emergency Room camera out there in Dripping Springs. We have dry roads and a lot of cloud cover out there, currently sitting at 49 degrees here in Austin. We mentioned earlier about the fact that these temperatures much milder than what we had yesterday. A noticeable warm up this morning, courtesy of that nice cozy cloud blanket. We start in the 40s. We finish close to 60 today. That rain chance 20%, but I'm going to drop that by midday. I don't think we're going to be looking at rain all day by any stretch. That's just going to be for the morning hours. High temperatures today, upper 50s to low 60s across Central Texas. I'll give you a second to find your neighborhood number. We've got mostly a northeast wind today, but it will be light, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So looking at our skies, the clouds will be very dominant in our skies through the morning. And then here comes our sunshine sneaking in, especially across the north and the west as we get into the later part of the afternoon. Headed to bed tonight, mainly to partly clear skies. And that's how we're going to wake up on Thursday. In fact, tomorrow we should get a good amount of our sunshine back. Looking out at the North Pole, the current temperatures in the Arctic, 20 to 25 below zero. Why am I showing you that? Because we're going to get some of that cold air down here in Texas as we get into early next week. So here is your first warning. We've got real cold air coming down from the north. Monday, Tuesday is the bulk of this, but it's probably going to start as early as Sunday with that drop in temperatures being uncomfortable, especially with the wind chills. The impacts, we know daytime temperatures are plummeting down to the 30s. As far as those overnight lows, 20s area wide. So a few to, if not even several, hard freezes expected beginning Sunday and continuing through Wednesday. The big question mark is, will we see any precipitation with this? And we're starting to get an idea that late Monday into Tuesday, some of our computers are hinting at that idea. Whether it falls as snow, rain, sleet, freezing rain, we're still too far out. But I'm starting to nudge up our precipitation chances early next week as I'm getting better data from my computers. That being said, we've got some time to prepare for sure for the cold. Highs will be in the 50s and 60s all the way through the start of the weekend, but temperatures come down to the 30s and 40s. Overnight lows in the 20s as we get into next week. And again, watch for some updates to come out from the First Warning Weather Center regarding that wintry mix potential as we get into Monday and Tuesday. Erica?
All right, thanks, Kristen. Billionaire Elon Musk is being sued for securities fraud. The Securities and Exchange Commission claims that Musk did not disclose his ownership in Twitter before buying the company in 2022. It says that he bought shares at, quote, artificially low prices. It also says he owned more than 5% of the company's stock at that time. The SEC says that by Musk withholding that information, that he was able to underpay at least $150 million for shares. Musk called the SEC a, quote, totally broken organization.
The new Texas legislative session is entering day 2, and lawmakers now have their House Speaker, the elected Republican Dustin Burrows from Lubbock. Before yesterday's vote, he faced pressure from within his own party to step out of the race. It followed State Representative David Cook winning the House Republican caucus nomination. But that was not the whole thing. Burrows prevailed, elected with support of Democrats and offering a message of unity.
Recent days have tested our bonds, yet they've also proven that this institution is greater than any one individual or any faction.
Now, in a statement on Burrow's win, Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick was not happy. He presides over the Senate, and he said, quote, Republican voters expected the new speaker to be elected by Republicans, not by Democrats. He added he's counting on Speaker Burrows to pass items Governor Greg Abbott has called for.
Thousands of people in jails across Texas are waiting for months or even years behind bars for mental health help. To give you some context, KXAN investigators found that nearly 1,800 people are waiting to secure a state hospital bed. That's where they could get treatment to help them become competent to stand trial. That is according to the most recent data from the Texas Health and Human Services Commission.
On average, the wait time for a maximum security state hospital bed is around 367 days. That's more than a year. But that is something that Hays County wants to change, wants to have a jail-based competency restoration program. 21 Texas county jails have implemented similar programs. It brings mental health care to the jail, helping defendants address mental health concerns and education on the legal system.
So the idea is that we'd be able to quickly get people into the program, restored within 40 to 60 days, so that they can get a resolution to their case.
The county is financially responsible for the lengthy jail accommodations, and this could help cut down on those costs as well. Let's talk a little sports. There is a new professional sports team here in Austin.
Yeah, this is pretty cool. KXAN's Kevin Bosker introduces us to League One Volleyball Austin. It's the new professional indoor women's volleyball team.
Gearing up for an Austin welcome.
I'm so excited. First game. It's been a long time coming.
Training at their practice facility, Love Austin players say it's a new chapter for volleyball.
I think it just continues to grow the sport of volleyball. It continues to give opportunities to other female athletes that are coming out of college.
Love Austin is one of 6 teams playing in Love Pro, the sports league that started playing this year. Head coach Marco Benitez says Austin is the perfect city to birth a pro volleyball team in the inaugural season.
Austin, the biggest women's sport is volleyball. So I like to stay here because I feel the culture of volleyball.
For so long, Austin was recognized as the largest city without professional sports. And now you have Austin FC, you have the Gamblers.
Drew Hayes with the Austin Sports Commission says the rising popularity with emerging Austin sports teams has created momentum.
And Love Volleyball is definitely going to elevate the Austin sports profile.
And for the players, they're excited for the growth in the sport with a new team.
This is just the beginning. It's definitely going to be a snowball effect.
Kevin Bosker, KXAN News.
And Love Austin will play at the HEB Center in Cedar Park today. That's also home of the Austin Spurs and the Texas Stars. Tickets for their games range from $45 to $70, and you can get those on Ticketmaster. Coming up, why Central Texas can be as vulnerable as Southern California when it comes to wildfires.